Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. This segment of the news is brought to you by Emeralds Travel. Great strides have been made in strengthening national capacity in the Caribbean Forum of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States regarding the implementation of the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. The United Kingdom's Caribbean Aid for Trade and Regional Integration Trust Fund, CART has distinguished itself in this regard, providing much-needed aid for trade resources in order to buttress institutional structures with responsibility for coordinating EPA implementation in some of the smallest regional states, all of which face stark capacity constraints. The outgoing Director General of the CARIFORUM Directorate in the Caribbean Community Secretariat, Ivan Ogando Lora, expressed this view against the backdrop of CART Fund EPA public sector capacity building support projects that are winding down in 5 regional states. Grant agreements governing the projects in each of the 5 states had come on stream at varying points since 2009. Antigua and Barbuda was the first state in which the capacity building project was rolled out, followed by Grenada. Project closures have since been set in train for these 2 states as part of the first wave of closures, of which St. Vincent and the Grenadines is also a part. The second wave is to take place in relation to Belize and St. Kitts and Nevis in the coming months. These states have benefited from CART Fund financial support to their national EPA implementation units, each of which is tasked with coordinating the implementation of the complex, far-reaching accord in the given state. The Director General said of authorities in those states, with the support of the CART Fund now at its end, they have a sound basis upon which to build further EPA implementation actions, which is especially important considering that institutional structures that receive CART Fund support will play a crucial role in EPA implementation in the short, medium, and long term. The 24th U.S.-Cuba Pastors for Peace Friendship Caravan to Cuba has arrived in Mexico on its way to the Caribbean nation with a humanitarian cargo, particularly tools and items to contribute to reconstruction efforts underway in eastern Cuba, a territory hard hit by Hurricane Sandy in October 2012. In a message to the Cuban people, De Los Santos said, and I quote, "We will arrive there on July 17th, but from now we want to express our gratefulness because you, the Cuban people, constitute an example in our struggle, a daily inspiration to keep up with our fight. You prove that another world is possible and you are indicating the path to take." End of quote. In the Bahamas, U.S. Embassy officials met with Bahamian aviation authorities last week to discuss areas where the Bahamas did not meet the minimum standards for aviation safety oversight in a May assessment, leaving just 5 weeks to finish addressing deficiencies that may otherwise lead to a downgrade that could threaten airlift into and out of the country. On Monday, Captain Patrick Roll, Director of Civil Aviation, confirmed the meeting but emphasized that he felt the Bahamas is in a strong position to address the concerns that were raised. The points form the final conclusions of an audit of the country's aviation safety oversight regime authority. He noted that the Civil Aviation Department has been aware of some of the concerns since the May assessment and as such was able to put in place an action plan. He added that at the time of the meeting last week, it had already addressed 50% of the points of concern raised by the U.S. officials. The possible implications of not meeting the August 21st deadline to address safety oversight deficiencies include a downgrade of the Bahamas from a Category 2 rather than a Category 1 International Aviation Safety Assessment jurisdiction. A downgrade may impact U.S. carriers' airlift into the country, due in part to the higher perceived risk from an insurance perspective of flying into a Category 2 country. It will also impact the ability of Bahamian carriers such as Sky Bahamas and Bahamas Air to expand their services in the U.S. This potential threat to airlift into and out of the Bahamas comes as many stakeholders in the commercial aviation industry and the tourism sector have expressed concern about reduced airlift due to higher aviation fees. Captain Randy Butler, CEO of Sky Bahamas, said he was aware of the FAA's finding and felt they were workable and fixable. but added that he's concerned about the Bahamas displaying a lack of political will to address the deficiencies, with it ultimately being a critical part of securing the Americans' approval. While he believes that Minister of Transport and Aviation Glenys Hanna Martin has demonstrated some desire to prioritize the issue of safety oversight, the deficiencies highlighted in the May assessment hark back to a 2009 assessment. The ICAO Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program Comprehensive Systems Approach audit of the Bahamas, and he said the failure to fully address them to date is troubling. A relaxing night out turned into a real bummer for 23-year-old businessman Tyrone Lewis, who accidentally shot himself in the buttocks after unintentionally discharging a round that hit a teenage girl in the foot at a popular bar in Bartica in Guyana's Essequibo region at the weekend. Lewis, a licensed firearm holder, was subsequently rushed to the Bartica Hospital along with 18-year-old Kishana Barnes of Farm East Bank, Essequibo, who was shot in her right leg. A source told reporters that Lewis was involved in an argument with another man at the Platinum Bar when he pulled out the weapon and accidentally shot the teen. According to reports, he shot himself in the behind after another man confronted him. The police said in a statement that another male patron confronted Lewis about the incident, during which he reportedly made efforts to pull out the firearm and accidentally shot himself in his buttocks. Both Lewis and Barnes were then rushed to the Bartica Hospital with gunshot wounds. The firearm has been seized by the police. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate News. Stay tuned.
I can't believe your mom let you take your car out. This is awesome.
It's time to grow up.
You're crazy.
Little wildflower.
Go faster. Stop.
It'll all be alright.
I raised my son to be careful,
Hey, sweetie. Hey, Mom.
but just to be safe,
So don't you worry.
I got a Subaru.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Coleman Subaru, 1710 North Alden Avenue, Ewing, New Jersey, or colemansubaru.com.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with zero out-of-pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with zero out-of-pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.